And what is up, your legends? It's your boy, the Concise King. If you are new, welcome back to another Apex Legends video. Keeping it short, sweet, and concise as always. Y'all know how I do. Now check me out, guys. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I win my 1v1s. And I'm going to be showing you guys how I do that with 5 easy tips that I use in every single one of my fights. Now you're probably asking, who are you to be showing me how to do my 1v1s? I don't have the most decent resume, but I have been playing Apex for about 2 years now. My highest ranked I've reached is Diamond. I'm probably shooting for Masters this season. But all that aside, these tips I'm going to be showing you, they are basically ground floor tactics that even if you are a new player to Apex Legends or you're a skilled player in Apex Legends but you find yourself just losing your fights, not really being the best advantage you can be for your team, this video is for you today. Now I do play a lot of ranked, and if there's anything you know about grinding out through Platinum all the way up to Diamond, you know that you have to win your 1v1 fights to put your team at better odds of winning the battle and all. And with the new rank system in place, of course it isn't solely focused on kill points now rather than placement, but if you find yourself losing every interaction, even in just pubs, once again this video is going to be such a huge help. So I do hope you guys stick around for the video. Like I said, if you are new around the channel, get around the channel, check out the channel, be sure to check it out, and if you like what you see, go ahead and tap that subscribe button for weekly Apex Legends content, streams, news, guides, you name it, I got it. And if you want to see how the Concise community get down, be sure to join us for our upcoming stream on Thursday and Friday. Friday you get to play with me, Concise, and Thursday we are back revving up our You Play, I Commentate stream, where you get to play, yes exactly, where you get to run a few rounds on stream while I, the Concise King, commentate over your beautiful little gameplay. So be sure to turn on those post notifications so that you don't miss a stream or an upload. Pop on by, we would love to have you. And if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and slap that like button for my beautiful like goal that I set on all of my videos. And without further ado, let's get into how we can win these 1v1s.
Oh God. No. Our third is gone.
I can feel the world getting farther. Every year the stars get darker.
Alright guys, now for tip number 1, we start with land hot / don't play to pressure. Now the only way you're going to know how to play against pressure really well is if you allow yourself to land hot and just have that moment where you just completely don't care about anything. I do suggest doing this in duos just so you don't continuously frustrate your teammates if you're hopping in trios matches, let alone a ranked match. Even better, it's nice that we have additional game modes in Apex like arenas, the new LTM control, so that you can just focus on your fights and kind of doing what you want to do. We start with tip number 1 of landing hot because I want you guys as players who are trying to get better, or if you're new to the game, I want you guys to get used to pressure. You need to know what it feels like when you're landing fresh off of your drop and you can't find a gun, so you kind of have to maneuver until you can. You need to continue to put yourself in positions where you are taking shots, but don't let that get to you. You need to remember in the back of your mind that there is always time, and the only way you're going to get better with this concept of time is if you continue to put yourself in the hot seat. This is a very important tip to me because a lot of times I feel like players will talk themselves out of going for it. As soon as you get your armor cracked, you think it's all over, but it's not. In those moments where you and your enemy are having a 1v1 fight and your enemy gets flustered to the point where they start meleeing you, that lets you know they've ran out of bullets, they're not smart enough to switch to their next gun or even get a reload going. They're literally becoming flustered, so don't play to that pressure. You will lose health, you will take damage, just know that you still have time. I've watched many of videos on YouTube about how to get better, and in every one of these videos the content creators have always said to land hot if you want to get better in Apex Legends. You want to approach fights head on as much as possible and challenge yourself in ways that you can stay alive. Now let's move on to tip number 2. Now tip number 2 on how I go about winning my 1v1 fights is one of the most crucial tips. I usually forget to do this mid-fight, but it has saved me a bunch. The beautiful gun swap. A lot of times I feel like we as players only think that we just have one gun and we stick to that primary gun no matter what. We'll reload it mid-fight. Even if our enemies are meleeing us, we won't get that gun swap. Gun swapping is a much easier and a faster way to get a 1v1 fight over, and it kind of deters you from losing as much health as possible. The idea is that after you approach that 1v1, you go through the first clip of your first gun. You don't want to reload, which takes about a good 2 to 3 seconds. You actually want to immediately, right as your clip empties, swap over to your secondary gun. Usually I like for that to be a shotgun, a wingman, something that's kind of like a one tap of a gun if I'm already running an automatic weapon. Now the biggest note I want you guys to watch out for here is that remember to reload your gun even if you're going to go heal up after that first 1v1. This is something that's going to catch up with you very quickly in the next fight that you take. The idea that you forgot to reload your gun, you did not put yourself in a better position to succeed in your next 1v1. Now speaking of saving ourselves, cutting out some time with tip number 2, getting a clean gun swap. Tip number 3, when you are approaching a fight, actually during your whole 1v1 fight, this is what gets a lot of players sent back to the lobby quick. You want to stop aiming down the sights throughout your whole 1v1 fight. A lot of players rarely, and I mean rarely, will use hip fire going into their fight. They immediately try to knock their enemies by just ADSing. And I'll tell you why that's not always best to do. If you guys don't know, there are certain guns, including your light machine gun, that kind of slow down your movement speed as soon as you go into ADS mode. It's going to slow down your strafing, it's going to cause you to miss a lot of bullets, and if you find yourself ADSing, trying to shoot your enemies, and you feel like they're moving just a bit more faster than you, that's probably because they're not aiming down the sights firing at you. They are instead using their hip fire, so their strafe speed looks a lot quicker. In ADS mode, it's a bit harder for you to tag onto your target, hitting a great amount of your shots at the same time. So the trick here, I want you guys to practice going to the firing range, playing with this in arenas and duos and all of your 1v1s, is starting out firing at your enemy through hip fire, and then immediately as you are midway through your clip, going into ADS mode, your aimer should automatically lock as soon as you are going right into ADS mode, and you can automatically assume you're putting down the rest of your shots from the second half of that clip, and that's an easy, and I mean easy 1v1 for you to clean up. Again, this is going to take some practice, and so I want to encourage you guys to hop into that firing range and just practice with your favorite loadout. ADS aiming throughout a whole fight is a habitual thing that a lot of players do, and it's going to continue to make you feel like your enemies are just better than you, and we know that's not true. Let's move on. Now tip number 4 is all about game knowledge, and that is the key here. You want to play to cover. Tip number 4 is playing to your cover. This is exactly how I win a lot of my 1v1s. When I need that extra time to go reload, maybe even go heal up, it's best to know your buildings, the infrastructure, taking note of where crates and cover are at on the map, really having a full sense of your setting and how you are deciding to take your fights. This plays a lot into positioning in Apex Legends, even getting a flank on a team. But in 1v1 format, if you can get your enemy to waste a few extra bullets while you are reloading, hiding behind a pole, hiding behind a box, a door, literally anything, incorporating that cover into your 1v1 is going to be all the more better. It's simply you outsmarting your enemies. Now a huge tip for knowing how to play the cover is also analyzing what gun your enemy is using. If it's a rampage, a light machine gun, if it's a 3-round burst of a gun, if you're playing against a bow or a sniper, it's different time increments for different guns. There are different time increments for you to take cover, for you to play to that cover with different guns. If you're up close in a 1v1 and you're going against a Devo or a Rampage, the longer you take cover, the quicker you play to cover. The more your enemies are just going to be spitting bullets, wasting their magazine. I know the Rampage can be tough because it lays down a lot of damage in such a short amount of time, but when you're up against those light machine guns, this is your way to outsmart them, to fluster them. We already know in tip number 2, it's not so easy for a player to get a gun swap going, so taking that time to pop out while they are reloading, that's an easy 1v1 clap for you. Trust me, guys. Alright guys, now the last tip I have for today is tip number 5, to know your loadout. Yes, it absolutely sucks. When you pick up 2 weapons side by side off of your drop, you go to do a gun swap mid-fight for your 1v1, and since you're pulling out your secondary weapon for the first time, you forgot you had that load up animation. You get them so weak they're trying to heal up. It's the perfect time to throw a thermite, but instead, you pull out a frag grenade. And then your enemy easily escapes, having popped a shield battery already because of a frag grenade detonation time. Listen guys, whether it's mistakenly pulling out a marksman rifle after emptying your automatic, small mistakes like that make a huge difference in Apex Legends. If you don't know what gun you're swapping to mid-fight, forgetting to switch from single fire back to your automatic. These kinds of errors do not help you when you want to finish your 1v1s in a timely manner. I didn't mention this, but the goal is to not get jumped, aka focus fired. So the faster you can implement these ground floor tips into your Apex gameplay, with practice of course, the more confident and the more skilled player you become over time. Trust me. If we're talking about tip number 1, not playing to pressure, learning to land hot, it's all about muscle memory, and you got to be able to put yourself in those positions to know how you're going to deal with them later in the future. Listen y'all, that's all I got. It's your boy the Concise King. Thank y'all for tapping in. Thank y'all for tuning in into yet another Apex Legends video. You guys are so appreciated. You have no idea. Once again, if you guys did enjoy today's video, go ahead and smack that subscribe button for your boy. Tap that like button for my beautiful like goal on today's video. And I hope to see you guys around the channel, around the community. We do have a Discord. You can definitely check that out in the link below. We do have our weekly Apex Legends giveaway, 2,000 of them things that we do every single week. We have our You Play, I Commentate stream coming up on every Thursdays and Fridays. You get to play with the Concise King as well. So be sure to check out the community posts up on the channel, and I'll be sure to continue to provide you guys the best Apex Legends content I wish to see. It's your boy the Concise King. I hope I kept it short, sweet, and concise. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next Apex Legends video, in the next Apex Legends live stream, and of course, always Legends, in the Apex Legends arena. Peace!
Deploying me knuckle cluster. Kill that joker. Lights out for half the squads, eh? On your fusey. Grenade, fellas.
Alright. That's my job, bro. You can't be doing that. Oh shit, I missed.
Launching me knuckle cluster.
No. No.
Blasted off, juicing me heels.
I said no. No.
I can feel the world getting farther. Every year the stars get